back to my kitchen. You're mostly going to see my hands today. I hope you don't mind. Today we are doing a fan favorite, the sweet and sour stir fry. This one is part of the Stay Home collection. It is one of our most popular meal solutions. It is probably one of the most popular takeaway food ordered as well. So that's why I'm featuring this one. This is what we're having for dinner tonight. I thought it would be a great one to showcase because it's recognizable comfort food, delicious, and really easy to put together. So the first step we're gonna do is actually make the sauce so that it has a chance to sit while we get everything else going. So the instructions do say to mix with a can of pineapple. I don't have canned pineapple, so I'm using the frozen stuff. I just blasted it in a handheld food processor so that it's like smushed up. So I'm gonna throw the seasoning in there with the pineapple. And then the instructions say vinegar. I'm actually gonna use lemon juice just because I happen to have a lemon kicking around. Squeeze it in there with our 2-in-1 citrus press. And I like the way that the lemon and the pineapple work together, so it makes a nice flavor. Get all that juice in there, but no seeds. It's all kept in the bottom, which is awesome. And then 2 tablespoons of soy sauce. So we actually use coconut aminos instead of soy sauce. Just lower sodium. They're gluten-free. We don't need gluten-free in this house, but they're a great alternative if you are looking for something that has less sodium. Coconut aminos have, 100% less sodium almost. There's anywhere between 5 and 20 milligrams of sodium per serving, per tablespoon, instead of like 500 to 1,000 milligrams of sodium. So that's why I like coconut aminos. So 2 tablespoons in there, and then just give it a quick stir, and it's gonna just sit, and you can see all the seasonings just mixing in nice. There's some bell pepper in there. Let's see what we have here. So you can see the ingredients list there. We have red bell pepper, green bell pepper, garlic, chives, and ginger, and that's it. Our sweet comes from the pineapple, and the sour comes from the lemon juice instead of vinegar. And we're just gonna let the flavors sit there and get nice and mixed together. And while that happens, we're gonna get the chicken going. So you could do pork as well as chicken. You could use beef if you prefer sweet and sour beef. Basically use whatever meat you prefer. I'm just using thighs. They're cut into bite-sized pieces and coated in cornstarch or tapioca starch, whichever you prefer as your thickener. I'm using cornstarch in here. So our pan is heated to medium. I use avocado oil for a stir fry because it's really good for high heat. I'm going to throw that in there. And I love this wok because it has a really big capacity. So that's about 3 pounds of chicken in there. And we're just gonna stir fry that to get it nice and crispy. The corn flour helps to give that really crispy outer edge. While that's cooking, I'm gonna chop up all of our veg and get that ready to go in. So if you're like us and you've suddenly found new ways to find your fruit and veggies, we are signed up with a CSA, a Community Supported Agricultural Box, in our town. And so this past week, these beans were one of the goodies that came in there. So I'm gonna throw them in. I'm just gonna chop them coarsely. Shift them to the side. I'm gonna throw in some zucchini because it's always nice in a stir fry. I like it. Sometimes the kids don't, and it ends up picked out, but whatever. Chop those guys. I'm gonna do some pepper. Sweet pepper's always nice in a stir fry. guts out of there. And let's fresh. Chunks for the pepper. Just like that. The nice thing about a stir fry is you mostly just use whatever vegetables you know you and your family like. I know my girls like the yellow peppers because they are very sweet. All right, I'm going to use the mandolin. This is actually a 4-in-1. The blades pop out. There are 3 other blades that can go in here. We're just going to use the 3.5mm today, and it makes for nice angled carrot slices, which are always good in the sweet and sour. Just be mindful of your hands. It does have a pretty sharp blade, so don't want to cut yourself. I do love that it has these feet here to hold it steady on the counter. It doesn't slide around, so that you can get that great angle. And those feet are also really great. They hold the edge of a bowl, so if you were slicing into the bowl, that works really well too. Again, carrots are nice and sweet veggies, so they're great in a sweet and sour stir fry. Set that there. Veggies there. This is stir. You can see it's getting nice and crispy. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I like a little bit of spice in my sweet and sour, so I'm going to use the chili flakes and garlic as well, just to add a little extra kick, just a sprinkle. Because the kids are eating it, I won't use too much. And just toss that in there. Okay, so once the chicken is nice and browned and cooked through, you're actually going to remove it. So I'm going to use a slotted spoon just so that some of the juices remain, because we're going to use those extra juices to stir fry the veggies. Okay, so take the chicken away, and then we're going to throw in our vegetables. So I love this cutting mat because you can do that with it. Just pick it up and dump it all in. So stir fry the veggies. I'm throwing in some snap peas as well. They're delish. While the veggies are cooking, I'm going to bring this pot of water up to the boil. We're actually going to do our sweet and sour with udon noodles tonight instead of rice. But they only take about 4 or 5 minutes, so once the water starts to boil, you can throw them in and just kind of keep an eye on the veggies while the noodles boil. A little bit of extra water in the sauce. I forgot that part. Okay. Our veggies are almost ready. So we're gonna throw our noodles in the water. Again, I love this multi-purpose pot. It's 12 cup, it's nice and big. Holds lots of capacity. Okay, so there's our noodles in. Set a timer. While they cook, we're gonna add our chicken back in with the veggies. All those juices. Throw in the sauce. And combine everything. And basically, the amount of time it takes your noodles to cook, you'll heat the sauce all the way through, get it up to a nice simmer, and you will be able to serve everything together. It's looking pretty good there. Stir the noodles. Okay, so the noodles are ready. We're gonna drain them. So there we go. And then I'm gonna mix them in so we can get them a bit crispy. So that is our sweet and sour chicken ready. Thanks for tuning in, guys.